Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. Pardon me, and with me as always, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world's famous juggler, Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
Man, I am great. I hear fireworks going off in the background for some reason, and I don't know why. But I think people are excited that we are reviewing Slapshot today. And I love hockey, I love beer, and there's also this new wonderful series called Shoresy, which is a spin-off of Letterkenny, which involves hockey. And it's also, of course, hockey playoffs. It is a great time of year, so I am fantastic. How about yourself, Ozzy?
I'm going to be completely honest. I tried to have a quick sip of this sun-kissed zero sugar I have, and as I put the can down, I think I put it down too rapidly, and I got some in my eye. And
that's what she said.
The intro was going, and I'm kind of doing this blinky thing, and then because I'm taken off guard, I kind of get this little bubble in my throat. That's why the intro sounded a little off. But hey, why not share?
Take it in the eye, bubbles in your throat. It's just one of those days.
Just one of those days. That is the third voice you hear, Flesh Wound producer Todd. How you doing, Todd?
Chilling. I don't know if we're going to beat last week's movie, but...
Oh, my God.
Oh, Ozzy wants to beat last week's movie.
I went to go see Top Gun another time just to make myself feel better.
Yes. Oh, that movie's so good.
It is.
4D. If anyone has it around them, go see it in 4D. That is an amazing experience.
Now, we are not reviewing, unfortunately, Top Gun Maverick. We are reviewing and discussing this week's Slapshot, as Greg mentioned earlier, released on February 25th, 1977. Directed by George Roy Hill, written by Nancy Dowd. Todd, do you have the trailer available?
I do.
I'm placing a personal bounty on the head of Tim McCracken.
You can't put a bounty on a man's head.
I just did.
Go get him, killer!
It's wild. It's outrageous. It's outrageously funny. Paul Newman, Coach Reggie Dunlop in this supercharged world of hockey, invites you to meet the crazies who make it that way. The players, Murderers Row. The wives, the fans, the managers.
We're losing!
Teamwork, guys. More team.
They're burying us alive!
Who are these guys? They brought their toys with them.
And hustling them all, Paul Newman.
Oh, you are very clever.
Leave him. My wife left me. I was driving her crazy.
Get out! You can't make him win. You're a losing coach.
Okay, guys. Show us what you got.
Behind the comedy, the sex, the wild excitement. This is the absorbing story of one man fighting to hang on in a world gone absurd.
They don't want you to score goals. They want blood. They're booing you!
There's never been a film like Slapshot. There may never be another.
That was Slapshot starring Paul Newman, Michael Ontian, and Strother Martin. Also an appearance, apologize here, the mother from Christmas Story, Melinda Dillon, who plays Suzanne, and also the mother from Harry and the Hendersons. It's very odd to see her in this scene because she's so young. I know you see her kind of older and clothed.
She's not much older in Christmas Story, though. It was only a 5-year difference, but they do make her look a little bit more motherly with the outfits and stuff.
Precisely.
But, yeah.
Right. Now, initial thoughts, just to kick this off, is I didn't really see this so much as I guess it kind of reminded me of The Longest Yard a little bit, where it didn't seem like it was a full-fledged like comedy. It was definitely more a sports movie than it was a comedy. The whole premise was funnier than I think any actual joke, and the whole premise plot from start to finish overall was humorous more than any individual punchline I felt from the script. Greg, you're the resident hockey guy.
No, that's fair. And this is a movie that like I've seen bits of, but I realize I have not seen in its entirety. So it was a lot of fun. I thought I'd seen this movie, but it was other movies similar. And yeah, so it was nice to finally see this classic. It was fun. Like I love a good hockey story. I love hockey in general. So definitely had some issues with some of it, but all in all, it was a fun flick, man.
Todd?
Yeah, some of you know I'm not a big sports guy, but I do enjoy a good sports movie. So go figure. I think I agree with Ozzy where it's much less a comedy than it is a sports movie, but the comedies of this era were a little bit more subdued. So it's not like the outrageous stuff we got a little later. This is 77. What's our standard run then? What Smokey and the Bandit, which is a classic. So I'm not hating. I love that movie. Spoiler if we ever do it. But yeah, like I couldn't nail down a joke. The concept's funny, and it did give us the Dudley Boys, so it always has that going for it. And for those who don't know, the Hanson brothers were the inspiration for the Dudley Boys.
No kidding. Oh,
No.
That's awesome.
Well, there you go. Well, you mentioned it was hard to pinpoint an actual line or humorous line, but we'll just jump into that right now because it's an easy segue. But it was a response to a line that we heard in the trailer where he says, "They brought their toys," which I laughed out loud initially when he started pulling out the cars. Then the owner says, "Better they play with the toys instead of themselves."
I'm imagining
the best laugh of the movie, but
I'm imagining that's how a modern pro wrestling locker room is with the vets in there when all the youngsters showing up
with their PlayStations and everything. Why are we doing coke?
Greg?
Yeah. God, I hate you guys for pulling this movie this month. So there's a moment that I watched the beginning of this while I was in the middle of work, and I finished it up at home. So when I get home, as I like to do, pour myself a nice tasty beverage, and I'm in the middle of drinking it when...
Wait, you said tasty beverage, but you're drinking beer.
Some men don't have the palate for it.
There's a the coach
I think
goes to the owner's house and he gets upset because he is told that the team is going to be folded and not sold. And he walks out and he says, "Your son looks like a cigarette." And I nearly spit out my beer. And I lost it. It is not okay, but it caught me so off guard. I lost it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I see. And there's the thing. Any of the lines that jump out to me are unsayable in 2020. So,
right?
There's some very un-PC humor of the era that might make some people uncomfortable now. But
it's fair.
Yeah. So there's my favorite line.
Okay, then.
And by the way, like maybe it's because of watching the last movie that we had and Hot Dog and what we saw in that, but like This movie probably had the largest nipple I have ever seen on screen at one point in time. It was like it was distractingly large. That's all
And
I
you thought
gotta
the
say.
leg
It
lamp
had-
was big.
It had to get approved by the studio somehow.
Right?
Yeah. You ever told me I was going to see the mom from those movies naked before I watched that? I wasn't going to believe you, but there we go. Off the bucket list.
So, Todd, you want to give it a rating?
I'm a 3.5.
Okay. Greg?
Look, like I said, I love hockey and it was fun. My biggest issue was so many of those penalties would have been game misconducts and they would have been ejected, and that bothered me. So,
What? In 77?
oh yes, there
Okay,
were
just
like
check it.
Well, no, but
serious
at the
game
same time,
misconduct.
this isn't. I mean, this isn't like the NHL. All we know is that this is the Federal League.
Even in beer leagues, man, like this stuff was like way too far. Although I do also have to give a great shout out when the ref's talking to the guy during the national anthem. He's like, "I'm listening to the song." Like that was fantastic. But so I really had fun with this movie, but just for how much it threw me off of like how many people would have been ejected from that game so quickly from any of those games, I have to bump it down to a 4.
I'm just gonna go with 3.
So does that mean
it
you
was
don't?
average.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it was just average. Like it was all right. I didn't hate it. Like I wasn't bored.
Yeah.
I wasn't laughing a whole lot, but I was still like, where's this gonna go? I was intrigued enough to see it through.
I'm really excited for us to eventually do Goon, which is the spiritual successor of this film.
Well, you
and
can't
great for this.
You can't forget there's also Slapshot 2 and Slapshot 3.
This time, it's personal.
But it's better that they're forgotten. I've never heard a good thing about either of them. I think one of the Baldwins is like the coach in one of them.
Steven, which was the one from Biodome. I'm fairly certain.
That sounds right. But it does have the Hansons in him, so there you go.
I'm still not convinced that main guy who wouldn't become a goon that stripped at the end, I'm still not convinced that's not Paul Rudd. Like,
well, he doesn't age.
Exactly.
All right, so that we got the ratings out of the way. Any final thoughts on this one before?
See you next week.
Yeah, let's go hockey. I'm rooting for let's go Avalanche. Like, no matter who's playing, let's go Avs. So, about it.
Avs?
Yeah, Colorado Avalanche. They're one of the people who's just made it through the next round.
No, I got that. The Avs.
Yeah.
Because I just think in my head like the avenues.
Avalanche is so.
I I understand that, but I mean like the Avs. It's like,
Look, not even an Avs fan. I just don't want. No matter at this point in time, the other side's undecided. But either way, New York and Tampa, I can't root for.
I just want to refer to the Raiders now as the Durs, just for Ozzy, so he gets a little nickname.
Which, by the by, first off, yes.
Why? We were fine. We were fine until you're like, hey, let's shit on the Raiders so we get Ozzy pissed off.
I didn't shit on the Raiders.
The Durs, Ozzy, not the Raiders. But also, side note, I did notice on the Geeky Jerseys website, they have an Indiana Jones jersey, and they list it as the LA Raiders for the Lost Ark Raiders. So I thought you'd appreciate that one for what it was.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Or the LA Durs.
We were doing so well. All right, now before we head out for the week, he did mention that next week we will be reviewing Beavis and Butthead Do America. And then the following week on the 27th, we'll have an episode of the newly released on Paramount Plus Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. Of course, will be newly released at that time, as that is due out on the, I believe, the 21st or the 23rd. But regardless, we'll have that available on the 27th with Beavis and Butthead Do America next week on the 20th. And before we head out, I'd just like to announce that when I mentioned before that I got the professional wrestling announcer, that isn't just a saying. I actually will be at an event this Saturday. It's Pro Wrestling Uncensored, which will happen this Saturday, June 18th in Monrovia, California at Evolve Fitness, 114 East Pomona Avenue. Find the Facebook page for more information. Doors open at 4:30 with the bell time of 5, $20 admission for all ages. Should be exciting.
Sounds fun.
Sounds awesome.
Of course it's going to be fun, Todd. I'm going to be announcing. It's always fun.
I was saying, despite Ozzy being there, it sounds fun.
Wait, do matches start when doors open, or is that later?
No, that's when you're led into the building.
Okay.
Bell time is when matches start.
Got it.
Did I mess something up?
No.
No.
He just was asking verbiage.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I screwed something up.
No, you're all good.
Oh no, we would have told you pretty quick, Ozzy.
I don't know. Greg likes to egg things on.
Which is fun because then when I have like genuine moments, like Ozzy's like, "What's he doing?" Like,
Yep,
that's what makes me feel like I've done good in life.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Slapshot, and we'll be back next week with a new episode. For Flesh Wound producer Todd and world famous juggler Greg Larson, I'm Ozzy V. See you next week right here on Flesh Wound Farce.